Typically, we will develop kind of the general idea that we want the whole map to be. What we try to do is focus on the hook of the map and what makes the map unique. And we start that process on paper. And then when we get into the editor in 3D, we'll build out a section of that map. New ideas and new things just kind of happen as you're building that.
Every little thing, even when we're detailing, serves a purpose, from cover, which serves the gameplay and lines of sight, but also it tells you where to go. So as a player, and I'm navigating and flowing around the map, you kind of want to naturally go to where there's cover because you want to be protected. That's also going to tell you you're probably going to get in a fight, so I should get ready.
So I had just finished working on the map Radiation from Black Ops 1, and an email came out from Vaughn saying, hey, what if we make a small map based on these nuclear testing towns, these fake towns that they used to set up when they test nukes and they destroy them. And I started getting ideas in my head instantly. And I didn't want to just take the idea of a small map where you just throw everyone together and just let them go at it in a chaotic sort of way. I wanted to keep all the elements that we normally would put in any other map.
Nuketown is interesting because Adam came in and was like, hey, I made this map. We're like, we didn't ask you to make that map. Why are you making that map? But he brought it in, and it was really interesting because he was really inspired by this sort of super frenetic gameplay. Nuketown kind of really opened our eyes about this sort of really frenetic head-on engagements, but it has a lot of complexity. And then from there, we're like, we have to ship this. And everyone was like, this has to go for the game, no matter what. And everyone kind of rallied, and we made it happen.
We did think about, what other things do we want to do? What if we had another path? And at one point, we tried having a flank path around behind where the pink house is through the yard. And we just thought, hey, what happens if we try this? So we tried it, and it was terrible. So that got taken out right away. And it actually didn't change too much throughout the development. We didn't have the bus and the moving van. It was more, an open center, which was even more dangerous. And so that's where the bus and the moving van came in. When we did the updated versions for Black Ops 2, we didn't want to make a different map. We wanted to keep it Nuketown. We wanted it to still feel like Nuketown. So we didn't change too much. Black Ops 3 was a different story. We obviously had all new movement mechanics. We had the thrust jumping and wall running. And so in the end, we just stuck with allowing you to use the new core movement mechanics, but let's still keep it Nuketown.
Coming from Black Ops 3, we wanted to do something really different. How do you do that for Nuketown, which still needs to be, retain the Nuketown magic, which is campy and kind of fun in some meaningful way? When we were building it, one thing that we went too far is we made it too real and depressing. And we started to look at it and we're like, this is bumming me out. Like, this is not Nuketown, because Nuketown is bright colors and fun. And so we were kind of at odds on maintaining the Nuketown fun, but bringing this sort of new Russian snowy, realish world gritty component together. One of the ideas was like the doors would open and stay open during gameplay, which would totally drastically change Nuketown, and we were like, that's too extreme. The other big thing we wanted to do was Nuketown's always been what you see is what you get, right? From the first one, right, to BO2 to BO3 is you knew exactly what you were looking at. We wanted to kind of flip that up, so you thought you knew what you were looking at, but it's actually, there's more hidden there that you've never seen before. And that's where this idea, we were kind of joking, it was just like, oh, it would be funny if we did like the Russian nuclear test site. And it actually started as that idea, like the Russian town, right? What would that look like if they were also testing the bomb? But there's this underbelly of this nuclear launch facility. Seeing through all the iterations and kind of the learnings from each of the Nuketowns has been really interesting, because it has to maintain that feel of Nuketown, which is not easy to do, because it plays different than any other map we've ever done before, and players will know if you've tweaked something. So we're super hypersensitive to maintaining the Nuketown feel and vibe, but delivering it in some new way, and that's always the challenge, which is really cool.